What's up, YouTube? Poor Man Podcast back with another video. Today's video is going to be why men are trash and love is a myth. All right, before I get to the video though, gotta do the YouTube stuff. The goal is 75,000 subscribers by July. It's a crazy goal. It's a big goal, but it's my goal. All right, and the way I'm gonna get to my goal is if you give me the HBO special. Do you know what the HBO special is? That's the Help a Brother Out special. All right, so go in and help a brother out. Hit the like and the subscribe button for more content. I'm gonna give y'all a second to do that. All right, now let's get to the video. Why men are trash and love is a myth. Let's see what she got to say.
We're gonna
By the way, I am going to try. It's a 15-minute video. I'm not gonna do all 15 minutes of it because that means my video will probably be like 35 minutes. So I'm gonna try to get through as much as I can, and then I'll go ahead and leave a link in the description so y'all go see the video for yourselves if you want to finish the video. But let's continue.
talk about my favorite subject. It's not that I hate men. They're making it hard for themselves to even like them. That's the thing. I'm fed up. I'm finished. I don't want to do this anymore. I can't.
I'm done!
In this video, I'm going to talk from my own experience and what I've seen around me. So if you feel like this does not apply to your life, maybe that's your own. If you
And I know this is out the gate. I already know. I know I'm going crazy, but this is out of the gate. I have to address this. She just mentioned that she's going to use anecdotal evidence, basically her own life experiences, to try to talk about the masses and conclude a generalization. This is why I lean so much on statistics when I have conversations. I can't give a opinion based on my own experiences if I don't have any information to back it up. Okay, so how it works is you come up with a theory based on things you observed, and then you find statistics to support your theory, to prove your theory to be more true than others. Okay, and a lot of people just use anecdotal evidence, and it leads to resentment a lot of times, because women like to exchange stories and talk about trauma and talk about their emotions a lot amongst each other, and they have a lot of empathy. They get a skewed idea of what most men are like. For example, I spoke to a single mother. She was about 39 and she had 2 children. But what she said was, men are trash. If you've seen my DMs, all the men in my DMs just want to have sex. And I said, look at your current predicament. You're 39 years old with 2 kids. If you see a 25-year-old in your DMs, he probably just wants to have sex with you, and he sees you as an easy pick because you have children. So now her whole idea of men is that they're all bad, when it's just because her current situation makes it seem that way. That's why anecdotal evidence is it's dangerous. Another example is when girls who are hypergamous and try to date guys based on their money. Well, they get treated like a fleshlight. They get treated like a sex object because it becomes transactional. Okay, so they're used to dealing with certain men that have a certain amount of money that treat them a certain way, and from that experience, they generalize all men into one category as being quote unquote trash. Okay, and it's probably because of their own bad personal decisions and experiences. But I know I'm out the gate. Let's continue the video. My bad, but that is an important point. Always use facts and statistics. Come up with a theory based on what you see, based on anecdotal evidence, but then go back and try to find actual facts and statistics to support that anecdotal evidence. Because if you just stand on anecdotal evidence, I mean, your argument's going to be pretty weak. Let's continue the video.
you see me looking over here, it's because my notes are here. Let's get into it. See, there's nothing wrong with bettering yourself as a person, right? If you're completely yourself and feel like that's not working for you at the moment, maybe it's because you haven't met someone who will appreciate you for being you. Social media has glamorized relationship, and it's always been like that. Like, women always want to find the perfect man so they can get married and have kids. There's something wrong with putting all of these expectations in your head that you start to make excuses for when a man doesn't treat you the way that you were supposed to be treated. And I feel like a lot of women do that nowadays because they see goals on the internet. Oh, I want to be like that. Or I want to travel that place. So they will accept anything for an Instagram picture. While you just fought like 10 minutes ago, because what is that? And the thing is, these men will not change. Maybe they don't want to commit to one woman. Maybe they don't want to be loyal. We give excuses. It's because she's not doing what she's supposed to for him.
She's talking about a
He's
very
just not
particular type
ready.
of man.
No, it's my fault. I did something. It's me. It's not you. It's him. It's him. See, back in the day, right, women would need a man for financial support. So even though they weren't happy, they would stay in a relationship because they had to. And because we've seen more couples and more married people back in the day, we have kind of glamorized old school love and oh, I want that. But people had a reason to stay together. So what if that wasn't even love? Now you see a lot of women doing better for themselves, getting their shit together, getting their own money, and requiring a man to work towards getting them. Not just, oh, hey, next day you know that they're sleeping with them. And
With the sexual liberation movement, it is now easier than ever for a man to just say, hey. You don't even have to see them in person. You can literally just go on Tinder, type in, hey, and if you fit a certain criteria that they're looking for, you're in the pants. All right, so this idea that because women have more money, they have higher standards for their sexual partners is simply not true. But another thing that I found a little bit, I hear it a lot and I just find it disheartening, okay, is the idea that when marriage was a thing in America before, the whole, feminist movement and everything, before it got carried away, you get where I'm going. Women have this idea of that time that the women in that time were drug along, and throughout history, men were dragging women through history, when that's simply not true. Most of history, throughout history, men and women have worked together, understanding their roles to get us to where we are now. Okay, so and I think it comes projection. They want to believe that those people weren't happy, so it justifies why they're not in a relationship, but it's simply not true. At mass, people, the level of happiness was much higher in the 60s and 70s. The level of happiness for the average American was much higher in the 60s and the 70s, okay? So this whole idea that women have just been abused and men have been dragging them, men have fought in masses and died by the hundreds of millions throughout history to protect women and children, okay? So this whole idea that throughout history men have been abusing women is just ridiculous, okay? It's just absolutely ridiculous, and it's used as a way to justify women being single nowadays and not having a relationship. It makes them feel a little better at night if they say, "Oh, back then people were had to stay together." Okay, and it's probably because they seen marriage as more than just love. Nowadays, we've kind of fetishized marriage and love, and we get the two. We make it so that our marriages are only based on love instead of love and business. Historically speaking, marriage has been based on business. It has been based on politics. Okay, strong kingdoms would marry they would send their children to marry the children of other strong kingdoms to build bonds with those kingdoms. Okay, to build alliances with those kingdoms. Marriage, historically speaking, has been about business since we've based it on love, which is a slippery idea. It's an emotion. It goes up, it goes down, sometimes it goes away. That's why we're seeing such a high divorce rate. That's why we're saying, because there is no business involved. But and everybody and women in particular are incentivized to leave those marriages and are doing so at about an 80% rate. Okay, so 80% of the divorces are filed by women. But let's continue the video and see what she has to say.
Nothing wrong with that if that's what you want to do. But if you know that that's not what you want, then just don't accept it because you want to be in a relationship. Don't just be fine with it. See, most girls, they dream about that love that gives you butterflies, the love that just makes you feel special. And just because we want that doesn't mean that it's going to happen. I feel like, I don't know if I'm the problem. I feel bad for a lot of women because they really live in this little world that as soon as they're married, they can live their best life. Why? That's not how it should go. You should make yourself happy, do stuff that you want to do. Don't focus and evolve your whole world around getting someone that you can post on Instagram or Twitter. Say my MCN.
I don't think that's what
don't think
all people
that
get married
you
for, but
are
I
less
get it.
than what you are because you don't have somebody. You are just as perfect as you are. If you feel like you are lonely or that you want to speak to someone, then that's also completely fine. But don't go out there and accept anything just because you want to be with a boy. I've met some guys that are good. And guys that don't want to hurt females on purpose. But there's also a lot of men in this world that just need to get hit. They need to disappear. So many women stay in their situation because they don't want the world to see that they're now alone or they are married to the person. But you shouldn't be with someone who disrespects you, makes you do everything all day long in your house, and as soon as they come home, they go straight to bed or eat whatever you made them. You should find someone who equally respects you and respects what you are doing for them. And if you feel like your man is not doing that for you, then maybe it's time to find another one.
Hey, bitch, you gotta go. Yeah. You gotta walk out that door and never come back no more.
I feel like this applies for many aunties. I'm fed up. They will see their husband cheat on them like 3 or 4 times and still stay with their husband. Like, what are you doing? If you cheated on him once, he would be gone. He would shame you, but you're still here. And it's embarrassing to leave it. But maybe you should if you feel like it's not good for your mental health and that he's a piece. Now I will give you some examples of the types of men that I have like met. I'm also taking this for like male friends, like how they act, how they behave, etc. So I can warn you and you can see maybe like what type of person that you are dealing with. 1, we have men that are hurt. They got their heart broken when they were 14 and they're still suffering with that pain inside.
Red pill. They figured it out.
But the thing is, many men don't feel like they should work on themselves. Instead of working towards actually moving on, they now want to go out and hurt other females because they've been hurt. They're scared that they're gonna be hurt again. Every female don't want to hurt you on purpose. I understand that you might be scared of opening up, and it becomes really toxic when you speak to a person like that. They don't want to talk to you about stuff that's going on in their life, and they kind of expect you to know everything beforehand, even though you have no clue what's going on, and then they get mad at you for disrespecting them in a situation where they would need you.
It's interesting where she's trying to talk to damaged men and say they need to open up, yet she comes and makes a video called Why Men Are Trash and Love Is a Myth, basically declaring that she's dropping out of the race to try to find a man because she's been hurt just like she just described. And now you get where I'm going? You can't say that the man is bad for being hurt and then going out. Obviously, I don't think that he should go and get vengeance. I truly believe that he probably just got red pilled. He finally understood that you don't have to put women on this pedestal. And usually when women say they want to be treated right, quote unquote, it's being put on a pedestal. And that quote unquote right isn't generally the guy that they go for, though. The guy that they go for is a guy that's focused on his goals and not concerned with her. Okay? Because if a woman wants you, she's going to, I don't want to say pursue you, but if a woman wants you, she's going to get with what you're doing. Okay, so keep focusing, and that's why I always tell men, keep focusing on your goals. Never make a woman your priority, because when a woman becomes your priority, she understands that you have nothing else going on. Okay, if a woman is your priority in life, she understands that you have nothing else going on. All right, but I just found it interesting that she wanted to talk about damaged men, yet she's a damaged woman, and she's doing the same thing she say damaged men shouldn't do. You get where I'm going? So let's continue the video.
But you didn't even know that they were in a situation. A lot of the men that have been hurt, they've either like been neglected by society. Again, that could be a girl, it could be family members, it could be friends. They might needed someone in a point of time where they didn't feel like they were getting listened to. These men will give women false expectations. Oh, I want to do this with you. I want to be this with you. But they can't do it because they aren't 100% comfortable within themselves. A lot of them expect to get in a relationship and get that female to fix it for them. You don't need a female, you need a therapist. And I know it's gonna be hard for some people to swallow, but it's facts. You should never go into something thinking that that person is gonna fix you or that you can be a better person if you have them. You have to work with that within yourself, and then you can find someone. But don't ever get in a relationship and expect them to heal you. Then we have the followers. They need consistent validation from their friends. So they can either send a video of them having fun to their friends in the group chat because they need to get high five by their friends and say, oh my god, you did a good job. These men are fucked. A lot of years ago, it wasn't trending to be with a darker skinned female because everyone kind of thought that being black is now trending. So before you were like, oh my god, I don't want to date this girl, blah blah blah. But now, because it's popular to be black, you now want to be with a black girl. You need mental evaluation. How can you have your black mom and your black sisters, but you're out here tweeting, I don't want to date a black woman, on the internet? It's not nice. It's not nice for a little girl to see that on the internet and apply it to her own life. I remember when I was younger, I used to see like, would you rather be with a white girl or a black girl, like videos like that on YouTube, and you feel like really nobody wants you and that you are ugly and stuff. You really need to stop that because it's really bad. These men will see women as objects, so often you will see them be like, oh my god, these bitches. I'm not saying that women doesn't do that themselves. Just because I say it doesn't mean that you can say it. Period. But as soon as you now want to come and call their mom something, you can call their mom a bitch, but now it's a problem. Oh my god, how can you say that? How dare you? You cannot expect someone to respect your mom if you don't respect other females, because how does that work? They will often blame women as defense, so as soon as you like talk.
That's probably going to be in the end of the video. There's another 6 minutes if you guys want to go and watch the rest of the video, but this is as much as I can do of it. Just going into what she was saying at the end there. A man being black, and I am pro-black relationships, by the way, and I do promote for black men to marry black women. But what happens is women think that because your mother is black, because your sisters, or whoever's in your family is black, that you have to want to date black women, okay? And I'm telling you, ladies, black women are unattractive. That's never the complaint that I see. Okay, now for a very few select men that are extremists, of course, they think that black women are just not attractive. That's a very small minority of men. But for the most part, black men that don't date black women, it's because of an attitude problem. It's because you're overweight. Okay? Let's just be completely honest. If 80%, if I line up 10 black women and 8 of them are 250 heavier than me, I'm not going to be as attracted to those women as I would thinner women. It's just how it works. Okay, so I just see a lot of it being, it's the men's problem, instead of the women going like, okay, maybe what can we do to fix, like, what are we doing that are pushing these men away? All right. And I do realize what she's saying, though, because I don't believe love is blind. I do believe if people have a specific preference towards a certain color of woman, especially if you're black, you need to look inside yourself and find out why you're attracted to these women instead of the women that look like you. Okay. Now, if you don't have a reason for that, it's questionable. All right, I get it. Okay, there are some dudes that just don't like black women because they have self-hatred. But by and large, that's not majority of black men. Majority of black men actually love black women. Majority of black men support black women. And majority of black men support their communities. Okay, black men are the most likely of all male demographics in America to do community service. Black men care about their communities. So all this nonsense about black men not caring about black women and all this and that, we're talking about a small minority of men that are going out, or a small minority of men raised by single mothers that are going out and committing most of the crime and going out and getting a lot of women pregnant. And the only way we can stop that is by holding women. The only way we can stop the latter is by holding women accountable. The only way we could stop that one horrible small percentage of black men that are going out getting women pregnant, the only way we could stop that is by telling women their options before. Okay? Don't lay down with a bum. It's that simple. Till next time.